Today I'm going to break down what the 3 pillars of content are and why understanding how this content is can help you when it comes to your YouTube journey and getting started on YouTube. Welcome back to another video on my channel where this series is focused on giving you actionable strategies and tactics and ideas for you to get started in 2022 in the new year or whenever you're watching this video. I created this series because I knew as I talk to more and more people, sometimes it's not even in the technical aspect, sometimes people just need ideas, they need encouragement, and a lot of creators are on the cusp and on the fence of creating content, and I hope after watching this series, you'll be encouraged to start your own YouTube channel. As I mentioned before, the 3 pillars of content, I'm sure like everybody has their own interpretation, and I'm sure there might be 5, you might say there's more, there might be less, but these 3 pillars and these 3 concepts, I utilize them for creators because it's easier for you to really grasp your mind around it and to get rid of any of those roadblocks that's stopping you from creating content. That's the purpose of simplifying it into 3 pillars. The first pillar, the first type of content that we have is the idea of entertainment. I talk about this pillar first because entertaining content is what everybody, for the most part, consumes on YouTube and on just any other platform in general. Content that is entertaining is like cat videos, dog videos, animals, oddly satisfying videos like construction, pouring cement. It doesn't have to be good, it might be like a tornado, something that is just visually appealing and also somewhat satisfying. That is the first pillar that we're talking about. The reason why I want to talk about this pillar is because we have to understand that entertaining videos are what we consume. But if you want to get started on YouTube and you actually want to grow and get more viewership and really increase your footprint online, it is pretty difficult to just grow purely off of entertaining content. That type of content most likely is extremely visually appealing. And that can be through the person being super attractive. It can be through like the area where they are. It's like very visually appealing. But that is what pure entertaining content is. And if your goal, whether you are a business or you're a creator, if your goal is you want to have a large footprint on this platform, that type of content is generally pretty difficult to grow on YouTube. One thing I can say is that it's not impossible, and I never want to discourage anybody when it comes to creating content, but it's just good to keep in mind that to create entertaining content that can be reached by a lot of people on YouTube, it can be very difficult because it is very competitive. There's already a lot of established channels and creators out there that are doing it that you'll be competing with. Now let's talk about the other side of the spectrum, which is educational content. Entertaining content, entertainment, education. That is the other side of the spectrum. Now, educational content is kind of what, as an example, what I'm doing right now. Educational content, the difference between that and entertainment is that entertainment is just satisfying. You watch it to feel good. That's what the YouTube head exactly word for word said. Does the video make you feel good? On the other side of that is the idea of educational content. Educational content is the idea of content that is serving a purpose, that is serving a solution, that is providing value to your audience. Educational content really is where the research comes in. It is definitely a bit more business oriented because even just businesses in general, the purpose of a business is to solve a problem. And educational content has a similar perspective as well, where you see that there's a problem that your audience has and you want to solve it. It doesn't have to be for business. Like even if you're doing YouTube for fun, educational content can exist where you're helping your audience and you're providing value to them. YouTube is extremely competitive. That's a no-brainer by now. Everybody knows that it's very difficult to succeed on YouTube. But the reason why there's entertaining content versus educational content is because educational content gives you the ability to target certain pain points. And that's why educational content can be an easier route. And I'm not saying you should only do educational content either, because I don't just do that as well. But educational content allows you to focus on specific things that people have, so you can actually cut through the competition and make it easier for you to start building a following. So educational content is something that serves a purpose, it provides a solution, and people are watching because they desire a solution, and their desire and whatever topic you're talking about is going to provide them value. I know it sounds selfish, but I feel like humans usually are inherently selfish, and that's pretty hard to escape. Now that we have tackled both sides of the spectrum, what's left in the middle? The third pillar of content is called personality-driven content. That is the third and final pillar that kind of falls in the middle. If we think about the two spectrums of entertainment versus education, the middle, there's a term which is also called edutainment, and we actually see a ton of channels, extremely successful channels that fall under this category. It's edutainment, which is educational content where you learn something, but you also find value out of it, and that helps with the overall performance of the video and people seeing the content. Realistically, I would say everybody is striving towards achieving a balance between purely providing value and purely being entertaining. Another way to think about this middle section, and the reason why I talk about how it's personality-driven content, is because if you combine both of these together, the personality-driven content is the idea of people just tuning into your content for your personality. And when you start creating educational content, at first people will be there because you're solving a need for them, but slowly they'll stay because they'll realize, oh, like you have a lot to offer, and also they might find you entertaining, right? You see how this is slowly all coming together? It's the idea of entertainment and education and how in the end they combine together. A lot of big titans of industry on YouTube started off in either side, and they kind of ended up in the center. I'm gonna end off this video with an example because you know I love giving examples, and I'm gonna talk about my favorite game, which is Minecraft. I always use Minecraft as an analogy because Minecraft and YouTube, they are pretty much synonymous. They grew together at the same rate, and they're successful because of the way that they are. A lot of huge YouTubers like PewDiePie, a lot of Minecraft YouTubers like Dream, they've all started because of the educational side. People were giving tutorials in terms of how to play the game, how to survive, how to not get killed by mobs, how to craft things. Minecraft tutorials was the way that almost all of these channels started in the first place. Educational. People tuned in because they were learning something, and then they stayed because they realized how entertaining their content was. Mr. Beast is another example. He started off playing Minecraft as well, and all of these things combined together helped them become where they are today. As they start creating more and more content, they slowly shift over to the center from educational to more of the personality-driven content. At some point, people tune in, not because the person is teaching something, but just because of the fact that it's entertaining and people want to see more of that type of content. And on the other side, we also have entertaining channels like vlogs, where first people are just following them for their content, but slowly they also start creating educational content. Like they might just start by creating let's plays of the game, and they're not really doing anything, they're just exploring, but over time their personality also becomes built stronger and stronger, and they also start giving back to the audience, whether it is teaching them. And this is how both sides of the spectrum slowly and organically end up in the center, where it is personality-driven content. Personality-driven content allows for educational content and entertainment to come together and become this fluid kind of content that people can continuously create content and build their channel off of. Hopefully after this longer style video, you'll be able to understand really how different types of content work. And when you are creating a YouTube video, you're thinking about what type of content that you want to make. I want you to think about, how do I fall into these categories? Like, do I have something that is so amazing that purely entertainment, you'll be able to build your channel? Do I have a topic that is in dire need of a solution and purely educational content would be able to satisfy that need? Or do you also have content that can eventually mold into both parts? Because that would be also how you can eventually work towards that goal. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it was helpful to you. And even if I just inspired one person to start their YouTube journey, I'll be satisfied, because as you know, I live and breathe YouTube, and I believe that it is an amazing platform for creatives, individuals, intellectuals to be able to do what they love and share their selves with the rest of the world. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.